Datta, Sri Guru Datta, Jai Guru 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 Datta, Sri Guru Datta. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Sadguru Bhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Guru Datta and welcome to Datta Arpanam with your hosts Rishi Nirvan Balrup
and Ravita Singh. Jai Guru Datta, Swagatam, and thank you for tuning in to Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music and teachings of His Holiness Parama Pujya Dr. Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji of Avadhuta Dattapitam in Mysuru. Today's program begins with the offering of pranams, gratitude, and this invocation prayer at the sacred feet of beloved Sadguru Deva Pujya Shri Swamiji, as this program, possible only through His divine grace, is offered to him. Please join Pujya Shri 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 Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji now in worship.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Sadguru Bhyo Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gururdevo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Bhuyuta Shri Hari Chinnhitabhyam Agastya Rekhadi Bhiranchitabhyam Nigodha Bijakshara Mudritabhyam Namo Namah Sadguru Padukabhyam. गणपति गुरुमेकं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं विबुधनिवह सेव्यं योगमार्गाधिरूढं शरणमुपगतानामार्तिसङ्घाद्रिवज्रं मम हृदयनिवासं भक्तिनम्रो नमामि, भक्तिनम्रो नमामि.
Once again, everyone, Swagatam, and thank you for tuning in to this morning's edition of Datta Arpanam. Today's program is being brought to you through the kind courtesy of Ramlal Educational Institute of number 12 Exchange Lots Coover, Valini's Drug Mart Limited of 58 to 60 Sutton Street, San Fernando, Debe Supermart Limited of 182 SS Erin Road, Debe, and Koke Supermart Limited of 14 Naparima Miaro Road, San Fernando.
As you would have heard on last week's episode of Datta Arpanam, on Wednesday gone, Pitra Paksha began. On last week's episode, through a story taken from the life history of Ganapati Swamiji, who is fondly called Pujya Appaji, you would have also heard that when we have the association of Guru in our lives, there is no reason to fear the afterlife.
Inspired by that story, this week you will hear another story, this time from Pujya Sri Swamiji's publication called 100 Stories. Like last week's story, today's story also teaches us of the importance and the benefit of associating with a guru and other virtuous persons during this lifetime.
As Pujya Appaji has taught on the free app SGS Post, association with the enlightened can transform the weak, and there is no doubt that today's story shows us just that. So be sure to stay tuned in to Datta Arpanam right here on 103.1 FM for a beautiful story, important morals, and your favorite, the bhajan compositions of Pujya Sri Swamiji.
And speaking of the bhajans of Pujya Appaji, before commencing today's story, let us worship Lord Ganapati through song. Please open the Bhajanmala app or visit the website www.bhajanmala.com. Enter bhajan ID number 52 and join in singing this beautiful bhajan.
గణగణమునకు పతి అయిన గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం. గణగణమునకు పతి అయిన గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం. గణగణమునకు పతి అయిన గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం.
గణగణమునకు పతి అయిన గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం.
గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం.
గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం.
గణం గణం బీజగమె గణం అణువుల జీవుల గణం గణం.
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 గణగణమునకు పతి అయిన గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం.
గణగణమునకు పతి అయిన గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం.
మూలాధారము జీవగణం
మూలాధారము జీవగణం.
స్వాధిష్ఠానము సస్యగణం.
స్వాధిష్ఠానము సస్యగణం.
మణిపూరము సంపదల గణం.
మణిపూరము సంపదల గణం.
అనాగతం వది వాయుగణం.
అనాహతం వది వాయుగణం.
గణగణమునకు పతి అయిన గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం.
గణగణమునకు పతి అయిన గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం.
విశుద్ధమనగ విబుధగణం
विशुद्धमनः विबुधगणम्
ఆజ్ఞాచక్రము శక్తిగణం
आज्ञाचक्रमुशक्तिगणम्
సహస్రపద్మము తత్వగణం
सहस्रपद्ममुखत्वगणम्
ఇకపై మిగిలినదేమి గణం
इकपै मिगिलिनदेमि गणम्
గణగణమునకు పతి అయిన గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం
गणगणमुनको पतियैना गणपति दोरको जयं जयम्
గోళాలన్నీ అణుగణము
गोळालन्ये अनुगणमो
ఆకాశమంతా లోకగణం
आकाशमन्तालोकगणम्
ఈ గణపతి గణమణి ద్రుణిలో
ఈ గణపతి గణమణి కృణిలో
సచ్చిదానందుని గుణమగుణం
సచ్చిదానందుని గుణమగుణము
గణగణమునకు పతి అయిన గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం
గణగణమునకు పతియైనా గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం
గణగణమునకు పతి అయిన గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం
గణగణమునకు పతియైనా గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం
గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం
గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం
జయం జయం
జయం జయం
జయం జయం
జయం
జయం
జయం
గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం గణపతి దొరకు జయం జయం
Parama Pujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji, Pujya Appaji, has said that beauty is everywhere waiting to be noticed. So everyone, when it feels like the world around you is filled with ugliness, simply listen to the bhajans of Pujya Appaji, bhajans like the one you just heard, and be immediately reminded that there is always beauty in this world.
As long as we listen to the bhajans of Pujya Appaji, as long as we sing the bhajans of Pujya Appaji, if we even just think of Pujya Appaji, we will feel ourselves being wrapped in beauty and filled with beauty.
You are listening to Datta Arpanam. Thank you for tuning in to today's offering, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Ganapati Swamiji, and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited.
When Pujya Appaji was a little child, his mother and guru, Mata Jayalakshmi, would often use short stories as a means to teach her young child and disciple important lessons. Pujya Appaji, in turn, often uses this technique himself, using stories from Indian scriptures to impart valuable wisdom. Today, one such story will be shared, and we will look at what this story teaches us. As always, you are encouraged to see what additional morals jump out at you when you hear today's story, the story of Satyatapa.
Satyatapa was given this name as a title. No one really knew his original name. We see this from time to time in Hindu scriptures. Just look at Lord Dattatreya. The name Dattatreya is not the actual name of Lord Datta, but more a description of who he is. The word Dattatreya is the combination of the words Datta, meaning gift, and Atriya, meaning Atris. the Holy Trinity of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, to reward sage Atri for his penance, combined into a single form and gifted themselves to the sage. That form, in other words, Atri's gift, came to be referred to by those who witnessed this as Dattatreya. Similarly, as you will see as today's story progresses, the name Satyatapa was an honorific versus an actual name.
Initially, the one who later came to be known as Satyatapa earned his living as a highway robber, stealing from and murdering many persons who traversed the forest highways. One day, while wandering in the forest, that bandit saw a saint named Aruni. He pounced on the saint, hoping that he might get some loot if he beat him up.
The saint opened his eyes once, looked at his assailant, and again closed his eyes to resume his meditation.
This surprised the cruel man who was attacking the sage. But instead of getting annoyed at the sage, that robber's mindset and intentions underwent a transformation. He bowed before the saint and prayed to him, saying, "O Holy One, I have beaten many people to death. You are the first person I've ever met who does not fear death. I will stay away from evil in the future. Please show me the way to self-realization."
Aruni ignored the bandit, got up and left.
The bandit started to follow the saint wherever he went, all the while beseeching him with great humility.
One day, while the saint was walking through the forest, a tiger suddenly tried to attack him. The bandit, who had been following the saint, positioned himself between the saint and the tiger and killed the tiger. Aruni was very pleased and instructed him by saying, "Always speak the truth and never eat anything from the tree called Sakata. This is the way to moksha or liberation."
This seemingly trivial teaching left the bandit in a state of absolute bliss. Surely he could do this. And so, with the sage's permission, he started performing tapas or penance in the forest.
To the man's surprise, however, he could not find any tree other than, you guessed it, the one tree from which the sage had told him he could not eat a fruit. The only tree he could find in the forest was the Sakata tree. But he did not let this derail him. Vigilant to adhere to his preceptor's command, he commenced his tapas while simultaneously abstaining from food.
And listeners, this is the level of commitment we should have when it comes to adhering to the instructions and guidelines of Sadgurudeva Pujya Appaji. We should always feel an inclination to let Guru paint the beautiful picture as he wishes. We should let go and give ourselves to him, both mentally and physically, so that he can shape our destiny.
Remember, unlike us, Guru knows past, present, and future. So if he instructs us to do something which involves us stepping out of our comfort zone, we should not let our myopic or our short-sighted outlook cause doubts to spring in our minds. Instead, we should simply surrender to his will and to his instruction.
For example, recently Pujya Appaji asked that devotees make a promise to him that they will drink 4 liters of water a day and walk 10,000 steps a day. Exercise daily, he said. Do pranayama daily, he said. Meditate daily. Chant at least 1 chapter of Bhagavad Gita daily. These are all instructions which Pujya Appaji has given to us all. But how many of us are making an effort to put these instructions into practice?
Listeners, we are so extremely fortunate to have an aspect of Lord Dattatreya walking this earth today in the form of Parama Pujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji. Let us not waste this opportunity. Let us make the most of it and heed his instructions at all times.
May Datta Prabhu Pujya Appaji bless us all to diligently and successfully carry out his command. And one command which he has given repeatedly over the years and continues to give is that we should engage in Nama Sankirtanam regularly. So let us do that right now. Please open the Bhajanmala app or website, enter Bhajan ID number 414 and join in singing this beautifully written bhajan.
The bhajan praises Mother Goddess as Shri Mata, as the Supreme Empress, as the Divine Mother, as the deity of Sri Chakra, as Shri Devi, as the embodiment of Sri Vidya, as the consort of Lord Shiva, as Kamakshi, who has benevolent and gracious eyes, as one with a smiling face and golden complexion, as one whose face is anointed with the auspicious turmeric, as the one who lives in the intellect of sages, as the embodiment of Sama Veda, and as the personification of truth, knowledge, and bliss. The word Kamakshi has two meanings. One is the destroyer of Maya or illusion, and the other is the fulfiller of wishes. Through this bhajan, we are saying to such a mother that her brilliance dwells in our heart. Once again, the bhajan ID number is 414. Please join now in worship.
श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञे हृदि राजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञे हृदि राजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञे हृदि राजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञी हृदि राजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा कामेशी सा कामाक्षी सा कामेशी सा हालस्य सा हारिद्रा सा हालस्य सा हारिद्रा सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञे हृदि राजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञी हृदि राजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा कामाक्षी सा कामेशी सा कामाक्षी सा कामेशी सा हालास्य सा हारिद्रा सा हालास्य सा हारिद्रा सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञी हृदि राजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा साधूनां धी देशीय सा साधूनां धी देशीया सा सच्चिदानंदाकार सा सच्चिदानंदाकार सा साधूनां धी देशीया सा साधूनां धी देशीया सा सच्चिदानंदाकार सा सच्चिदानंदाकार सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञ रुधिराजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञ रुधिराजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा कामाक्षी सा कामेशी सा कामाक्षी सा कामेशी सा हालास्य सा हारिद्रा सा हालास्य सा हारिद्रा सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञ रुधिराजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या 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 सा साधूनां धी देशीया सा साधूनां धी देशीया सा सच्चिदानंदाकार सा सच्चिदानंदाकार सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञ रुधिराजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञ रुधिराजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा साधूनां धी देशीया सा साधूनां धी देशीया सा सच्चिदानंदाकार सा सच्चिदानंदाकार सा श्रीमाता श्रीराज्ञ रुधिराजति सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा श्रीदेवी सा श्रीविद्या सा
Before that bhajan, you heard that the sage Aruni told the bandit turned disciple that adherence to truth and refraining from eating any fruits from the sakata tree would lead to moksha. But when the only food he could find in the forest where he lived was the fruit of said sakata tree, that new disciple of Aruni, abiding by the words of his guru, continued his penance while totally refraining from eating.
But listeners, out of his infinite compassion and love for us all, Parama Puja Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji, Puja Appaji as we fondly call him, Puja Appaji has given us a much easier way to attain liberation. That method is Nama Sankirtana, singing the praises of the divine. Bhajans like the one to which you just listened are not just songs, they are not just Vedanta put to song, but they are also stepping stones to liberation. What gratitude we owe to Sadguru Deva Puja Appaji for not only teaching us that in Kali Yuga, Nama Sankirtana is the surest way to liberation, but also for gifting us with the bhajans to sing in order to achieve that goal.
And this does not mean that Puja Appaji is right about how to achieve moksha, but Sage Aruni was wrong, or vice versa. You see, in different yugas, different levels of effort are required to achieve liberation. Kali Yuga may be a yuga plagued with hardships, but a major gift it offers is this simple way to achieve moksha, Nama Sankirtanam.
You are tuned in to Datta Arpanam. Thank you for tuning in to this hour of devotion, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Puja Sri Swamiji, and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Koke Supermart Limited. Today, we are looking at the story of Satyatapa.
So far, you heard that bandit changed his ways when, despite attacking Sage Aruni, the sage ignored him and went back to his meditation. Impressed with the sage's lack of fear of death, the bandit underwent a reformation and even saved the sage's life. He then undertook penance in the same forests where he would once rob and even murder passers-by.
This new disciple of sage Aruni continued his penance in the forest. One day, Durvasa Maharishi, the brother of Lord Dattatreya, visited the ashrama of that former bandit. He wanted to see what kind of hospitality would be shown towards him there.
The bandit had worshipped Ishvara and was rewarded with a divine bowl which produced whatever was desired. Thanks to this bowl, Maharishi Durvasa partook of a wonderful meal. When he was finished eating, he expressed wonder at the bandit's power of tapas and expressed wholehearted appreciation towards him.
O Tapasvi, said Durvasa Maharishi, your devotion towards your master is exemplary. From now on, you shall be called Satyatapa as you meditate only on the truth.
Since then, that bandit turned saint was referred to as Satyatapa. And listeners, do not feel that there is no way a robber and murderer could turn into a saint. Anything is possible when, under the guidance of a guru, we dedicate our lives to getting closer to God, closer to the divine self within each of us.
Haven't we heard of a similar story in the case of Valmiki Maharishi?
The story of Valmiki Maharishi is beautifully given in the Skanda Purana. Many eons or many yugas ago, there was a boy named Agni Sharma. And no matter how hard Agni Sharma's parents struggled to give him a basic education, it was of no use. So, hoping that marriage would reform him, those parents got that son married. But not even this could bring about any change in Agni Sharma.
Around that same time, there was a great famine, and unable to withstand it, Agni Sharma and his entire family moved to the forests. Hoping to support his family, Agni Sharma turned into a wayside robber who ruthlessly looted passers-by.
One day, when Agni Sharma went to steal, the ones he ended up trying to steal from happened to be the 7 great sages or the Saptarishis. Sage Atri addressed the robber Agni Sharma saying, "Having selected looting as a profession, you are committing innumerable sins. Will your family take a share of these sins?"
When Agni Sharma went home and asked his family, he realized that none of them was willing to take any share of his sins. This frightened Agni Sharma. He went back to the Saptarishis and held on to the feet of Atri Maharishi, the father of Lord Dattatreya, and begged him for a way out. Atri Maharishi then initiated Agni Sharma into Dhyana Yoga, or the yoga of meditation, and together with the other Maharishis, then left that place.
13 years passed by. The 7 great sages or the Saptarishis were once again passing through that forest. From a huge anthill, a loud sound was heard. The saints were surprised when they came to know that Agni Sharma was seated, immobile, within the anthill. His dedication and discipline pleased them immensely, and they asked him to come out of the anthill.
As Agni Sharma then emerged from the anthill, or from the Valmika, the sages gave him the title Valmiki. And listeners, this story, like the story of Satyatapa, shows us how, with the grace of a guru, even the worst sinner can not only turn his life around, but also become saintly or extremely virtuous. Even Sri Krishna taught us this when, in Shloka 30 of chapter 9 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he said, Api chet sururacharaha bhajate mamananya bhak sadhureva samantavyaha samyag vyavasito hi saha. In this 30th shloka of chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna explained to Arjuna that even someone who has to date adhered to the most wicked path, if he abandons his evil ways and worships Paramatman, he should be considered a virtuous being, because he has rightly resolved that through worshipping the Supreme Lord, he will accomplish the goal of life.
And what is that goal of life? Well, Appaji gave a simple, succinct answer to this on the free app SGS post when he said that the purpose of this birth is not to be born again. So everyone, as you were already urged on today's program, make this life count. Spend time in worship. Actually, let us spend some time in worship right now as we once again join Pujya Appaji in Nama Sankirtanam. Please open the Bhajan Mala app or visit the website www.bhajanmala.com, enter Bhajan ID number 1215, and let us fill the air, fill the space around us, fill the world, fill creation with divine sound as we join in singing this bhajan.
प्रकाशवन्ति प्रभाववन्ति प्रभाववन्ति शिवचरितानि सदा वद प्रकाशवन्ति प्रभाववन्ति प्रकाशवन्ति प्रभाववन्ति शिवचरितानि सदा वद शिवचरितानि सदा वद शिवचरितानि सदा वद शिवचरितानि सदा वद विलोकनेन मनोभवम् विलोकनेन मनोभवम् समदगदुग्रो प्रतिपतिम् समदगदुग्रो प्रतिपतिम् समदगदुग्रो प्रतिपतिम् विशोगण द्रुतो जवात् विशोगण द्रुतो जवात् जलधि प्रमन्ते कृपाबलात् जलधि प्रमन्ते कृपाबलात् जलधि प्रमन्ते कृपाबलात् जलधि प्रमन्ते कृपाबलात् प्रकाशवन्ति प्रभाववन्ति शिवचरितानि सदा वद प्रकाशवन्ति प्रभाववन्ति शिवचरितानि सदा वद प्रकाशवन्ति प्रभाववन्ति शिवचरितानि सदा वद गिरीन्द्रशीर्षे वसत् स्वयं
गिरीन्द्रशीर्षे वसत् स्वयं
गिरीन्द्रशीर्षे वसत् स्वयं
गिरीन्द्रशीर्षे वसत् स्वयं
गिरिवरपुत्रीं विमोहयन्
गिरिवरपुत्रीं विमोहयन्
गिरिवरपुत्रीं विमोहयन्
गिरिवरपुत्रीं विमोहयन्
वटस्य मूलं व्युपाश्रितो
वटस्य मूलं विवाश्रितो
वटस्य मूलं व्युपाश्रितो
वटस्य मूलं विवाश्रितो
मुनिगणमोघं व्यपोहयन्
मुनिगणमोहं व्यपोहयन्
मुनिगणमोघं व्यपोहयन्
मुनिगणमोहं व्यपोहयन् प्रकाशवन्ति प्रभाववन्ति शिवचरितानि सदा वदा प्रकाशवन्ति प्रभाववन्ति शिवचरितानि सदा वदा
अणावणौ च न ताडये
अनावरणौ च प्रताडये
अणावणौ च न ताडये
अनावरणौ च प्रताडये
शिवरुचिमेव प्रदर्शयन्
शिवरुचिमेव प्रदर्शयन्
शिवरुचिमेव प्रदर्शयन्
शिवरुचिमेव प्रदर्शयन्
प्रमोदभैरव रवात्मना भैरव
प्रमोदभैरवत्मना
सच्चिदानन्दं प्रवर्धयन् सच्चिदानन्दं प्रवर्धयन् सच्चिदानन्दं प्रवर्धयन् सच्चिदानन्दं प्रवर्धयन् प्रकाशवन्ति प्रभाववन्ति
शिवचरितानि सदा वदा
प्रकाशवन्ति प्रभाववन्ति शिवचरितानि सदा वदा शिवचरितानि सदा वदा शिवचरितानि सदा वदा सदा वदा
On the app SGS Posts, Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji has said that while walking, eating, reading, traveling, or going to sleep, stop for a moment to remember God. How grateful Rishi and I are that each of you joined with us just now to do just that. Remember God. You are tuned in to Datta Arpanam. This morning's program is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Ganapati Swamiji and thanks to the sponsorship by his dedicated Sevakartas, Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited and Kokie Supermart Limited. Today you have been listening to the story of Satya Tapa, a bandit turned saint.
One day, while Satya Tapa was cutting wood for a sacrifice, the knife fell on his finger and chopped it off. However, because of the power of his tapas, that amputated finger returned to Satya Tapa's hand and reaffixed itself in its original place.
A few Kinnaras who witnessed this miracle were amazed and went to Lord Indra's court and described what they had seen. Hearing the story, Lords Vishnu and Indra decided to disguise themselves as a pig and a hunter respectively and come to the forest to test this saint.
The wild pig entered Satya Tapa's ashrama pretending to be terrified of the hunter who was chasing it. The hunter chased the pig into the ashrama and shouted, "O saint, where did the wild pig I was chasing go?"
Satyatapa was faced with a dilemma. If he told the truth, he would be responsible for the wild pig's death. At the same time, if he told a lie, he would be disregarding his guru's words. Remember, sage Aruni had given Satyatapa 2 instructions. Always abide by the truth and do not eat the fruit of the Sakata tree.
Once again teaching us the determination with which we should never go against the advice or instructions of our guru, Satyatapa gave a perplexing answer to Lord Indra, who was disguised as the hunter. He said, "The eye beheld the pig, but the eye which saw it cannot talk. The mouth that can talk did not see the pig. So how can the mouth say that it had seen the pig?"
Pleased with Satyatapa's virtuous mind and compassionate nature, Lords Vishnu and Indra revealed their true forms to him.
Listeners, this story of Satyatapa shows us how a ruthless bandit was transformed into a Maharishi through the blessings and association of Saint Aruni.
Through today's story, while there are several lessons to be learned, one very important one highlighted is that it is very beneficial to associate with virtuous people.
And through the grace of a good master, one is able to adhere to the truth even under the most difficult circumstances.
Listeners, in other words, Guru makes the impossible possible. He has the power to turn the wicked into saints, the power to give us courage and strength when life seems or feels most crippling. And the whole time he is doing these great things, he wraps us in a cozy blanket of love and compassion. To such an indescribably benevolent and divine one, pranams are offered as we once again join in bhajan. You can find the words to this bhajan by entering bhajan ID number 716 on the Bhajan Mala app or website.
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕುಲಭೂಷಣ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕುಲಭೂಷಣ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣಪತಿ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ನಾಮನ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕುಲಭೂಷಣ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣಪತಿ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ನಾಮನ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕುಲಭೂಷಣ
ಕನ್ನಡಾಂಬೆ ತೊಟ್ಟಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾವೇರಿಯ ಮಡಿಲಲ್ಲಿ
ಕನ್ನಡಾಂಬೆ ತೊಟ್ಟಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾವೇರಿಯ ಮಡಿಲಲ್ಲಿ
ಜಯಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿಯ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತೂಗುತ್ತಿರುವ ದತ್ತನ
ಜಯಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿಯ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತೂಗುತ್ತಿರುವ ದತ್ತನ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕುಲಭೂಷಣ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣಪತಿ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ನಾಮನ ನೊಂದ ಮನಕ್ಕೆ ಮದ್ದಾಗುವ ಹಸಿದವನಿಗೆ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡುವ
ಮನಕ್ಕೆ ಮದ್ದಾಗುವ ಹಸಿದವನಿಗೆ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡುವ
ಪ್ರೇಮ ಭಕ್ತಿಗೊಲಿದು ಬರುವ ತಾಯಿ ತಂದೆ ತಾನಾಗುವ
ಪ್ರೇಮ ಭಕ್ತಿಗೊಲಿದು ಬರುವ ತಾಯಿ ತಂದೆ ತಾನಾಗುವ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕುಲಭೂಷಣ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣಪತಿ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ನಾಮನ
ತಂದನ ತಂದನ ತೋ ತಂದನ ತಂದನ ತೋ ತಂದಾನೋ ತಂದಾನೆ ತಂದನ ತಂದನ ತೋ ತಂದಾನೋ ತಂದಾನೆ ತಂದನ ತಂದನ ತೋ
ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯೆಯನ್ನು ರೋಗಿಗಳಿಗೆ ವೈದ್ಯವನ್ನು
ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯೆಯನ್ನು ರೋಗಿಗಳಿಗೆ ವೈದ್ಯವನ್ನು
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಂತಸವನ್ನು ಕೊಡುವ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಗಳನ್ನು
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಂತಸವನ್ನು ಕೊಡುವ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಗಳನ್ನು
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕುಲಭೂಷಣ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣಪತಿ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ನಾಮನ
ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ 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 ಕಾಣಬನ್ನಿ
Beautiful words set to the beautiful Harikam Bhoji Ragam and dedicated to the worship of the most beautiful one of all, Paramapuja Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji. Such a beautiful way to begin wrapping up today's episode of Datta Arpanam.
Pranams and gratitude are offered at the divine feet of beloved Sadgurudeva, Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji and Sri Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji, without whose teachings, compassion, love, guidance and music, this program would not exist.
Pranams to you, Puja Appaji and Sri Swamiji. Kindly forgive any errors which may have been committed in preparing or in sharing today's episode of Datta Arpanam, and please guide us to avoid such errors in the future.
Special thanks are extended to the staff at 103.1 FM and to the sponsors of Datta Arpanam, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited and Kokie Supermart Limited. And of course, dear listener, an extra special thank you is extended to you for sharing this devotional hour with us.
If you would like to listen to today's program again, check out the Datta Arpanam Facebook page where by tomorrow night the YouTube link for today's episode will be shared.
And once again everyone, thank you for tuning in today. You are invited to please tune in to 103.1 FM again next Sunday at 6 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time for another episode of Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music and teachings of His Holiness Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji.
Jai Guru Datta.
Shri Guru Datta. Harihi Om Tat Sat.
ಹೇ ಮರ್ಕಟ ಹರಿ ಮರ್ಕಟ ಹತ ಸಂಕಟ ಪಾಪಂಕಟ ಹೇ ಮರ್ಕಟ ಹರಿ ಮರ್ಕಟ ಹತ ಸಂಕಟ ಪಾಪಂಕಟ ಹೇ ಮರ್ಕಟ ಹರಿ ಮರ್ಕಟ ಹತ
ಹತ ಸಂಕಟ ಪಾಪಂಕಟ ಹೇ ಮರ್ಕಟ ಹರಿ ಮರ್ಕಟ 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 ಹತ ಸಂಕಟ ಪಾಪಂಕಟ ಮರ್ಕಟ ಹರಿ ಮರ್ಕಟ ಹತ ಸಂಕಟ ಪಾಪಂಕಟ ಹೇ ಮರ್ಕಟ पर्वत धारण लक्ष्मण जीवन राम प्रिय सागर लंघन पर्वत धारण लक्ष्मण जीवन राम प्रिय सीता शोक विनाशन चतुर शिक्षित दानव कपीश्वर सीता शोक विनाशन चतुर शिक्षित दानव कपीश्वर सागर लंघन पर्वत धारण लक्ष्मण जीवन राम प्रिय सागर लंघन पर्वत धारण लक्ष्मण जीवन राम प्रिय सीता शोक विनाशन चतुर शिक्षित दानव कपीश्वर सीता शोक विनाशन चतुर शिक्षित दानव कपीश्वर 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 हे मर्कट हरि मर्कट हत संकट पापंकट हे मर्कट हरि मर्कट हत संकट पापंकट हे मर्कट हरि मर्कट हत संकट पापंकट हितंकर भव भय दूर भूतोच्चाटन भयंकर भरत हितंकर भव भय दूर भूतोच्चाटन भयंकर हिम गुहावास हेम विभूष सच्चिदानंद स्थितितोष हिम गुहावास हेम विभूष सच्चिदानंद स्थितितोष भरत हितंकर भव भय दूर भूतोच्चाटन भयंकर भरत हितंकर भव भय दूर भूतोच्चाटन भयंकर हिम गुहावास हेम विभूष सच्चिदानंद स्थितितोष हिम गुहावास हेम विभूष सच्चिदानंद स्थितितोष सच्चिदानंद स्थितितोष सच्चिदानंद स्थितितोष सच्चिदानंद स्थितितोष सच्चिदानंद स्थितितोष हे मर्कट हरि मर्कट हत संकट पापंकट 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 हे मर्कट हरि मर्कट हत संकट पापंकट
ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ ತತ್ಸತ್.